the Word of God with your questions to find what it has to say, the very Word of God, and how that it addresses those things that weigh heavy upon our hearts. Question number 1. Was Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 1, especially the first phrase, more than detail? We go and we find that in Isaiah chapter 6 we read, in the year of King Uzziah's death. And we have to ask the question, who was King Uzziah? He was a king who had reigned for 52 years. And yes, the answer is, we believe that Isaiah faced a crisis, a spiritual crisis, due to events. Uzziah had sat upon the throne for 52 years. And with his passing, suddenly there were so many who did not ever have known another king. And there was a shakeup. And perhaps even for Isaiah, it was a time of trembling and of having to lean in harder into the very character of God and to understand that there are temporary earthly kings, but that there is an everlasting eternal king who shall not pass away. When everything we count on is upset, it is at that point that people even today cry out to God. And so we find Isaiah having his great vision of the Lord high and exalted, and the seraphim crying out, holy, holy, holy. And Isaiah is called into divine service. So yes, indeed, more than detail every word of the Bible. Question number 2, why is the book of Esther in the Bible? Here is a wonderful question, for many have asked, why is indeed this book in the Old Testament? For at very best, the most spiritual word that we find is referring to fasting. There's no mention of prayer, no mention of God, and or of going to synagogue or temple service. The answer is, it does not name God, but yet it pays a powerful tribute to his sovereignty. I take you back to Genesis chapter 12, and when the Lord called Abram from his kinfolk, he says, go forth from your country and your relatives. Verse 2, I will make you a great nation. I will make your name great, and so you will be a blessing. And verse 3, and I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you, I will curse. Esther is especially the account of God keeping his ancient promise to Abram and to his descendants, that he would be a shepherd, that he would be a watchful eye, that he would tenderly care for them in some of the very darkest moments of their history. God is there, even as in our lives sometimes it would seem he is absent, but yet he is mightily present, and he is fulfilling his word. He is keeping his promises. You can take that and rest confidently upon it. Question number 3, do politicians survive only at God's permission? Here we go to Daniel chapter 4 and verse 25. And we understand absolutely, yes, God rules in the affairs of men. Daniel 4 verse 25, where we read, and you will be driven away from mankind, God speaking to Nebuchadnezzar, a wicked king, and your dwelling place will be with the beasts of the field, and you will be given grass to eat like cattle, and be drenched with the dew of the earth, and 7 periods of time will pass over you until you recognize that the Most High is ruler over the realm of mankind and bestows it on whomever he wishes. Here we have not just for that time, 2,700 years ago, but for our time as well, that God rules in the affairs of men, and he is the one who puts one person in power and humbles another, and he continues to work the plan that he has for good in this world. Thank you for each of these questions. I trust the answers have been a blessing to you. If you have a question you would like us to answer on The Bible Has the Answer, write it out and send it to us. We will get to your question just as quickly as we are able. The address of Faith to Live By is Faith to Live By, Box 426, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and the postal code R3C2H6. And now a trio comes to sing Jesus, Lover of My Soul.